Most business owners that I speak to obsess over getting new customers. I need to run sales, I need to do marketing, trying to figure out where their next customer is going to come from. In the meantime, they are bleeding cash, not worrying about the one number that is the most important number in their business. I'm going to take you through a case study, same franchise, same revenue, except one is growing, the other's dying. You tell me, which one do you want to be? Okay, in this example, we've got two franchises, franchise A and franchise B. Both are doing the same amount of business. They're each on 100 enrollments. However, there's one key difference. Franchise A has a retention rate of 80%. So 80% of their members are coming back the next term. Franchise B has a 50% retention rate. Now, this is what it looks like with real numbers. Returning number of customers is 80. So from those 100, 80 are coming back for the next term. But for franchise B, only 50 of those customers are coming back for the next term. So this means franchise A has to only fill up 20 spots to get it back to full capacity. Franchise B has to fill up 50 spots. That's almost half of their spots they need to fill. So as you can imagine, which franchise do you think is sleeping better, A or B? A is definitely sleeping better because B is trying to figure out what the heck am I going to do to fill up 50 spots. That's the power of retention. Let's get into the video. Point number one, retention rate is the most important number in your business. Now you can call it retention rate, recurring revenue, whatever it is, repeat business. It pretty much tells you, are your customers happy enough that they are coming back? Retention rate is what allows you to sleep better at night. Because if you think about it, if you have a low retention rate or you have low recurring revenue, what does that mean? You got to wake up and you got to fight for sales every single day. You got to find your new customer every single day. And that's a lot of pressure for you as a business owner. And you sleep much better at night knowing that you've got recurring revenue coming into your business. So Little Bloomers Basketball, we're actually a subscription-based model. So we don't only look at retention rate, but we also look at churn rate, which is how many customers you're losing at a set period of time. It could be monthly or it could be quarterly. What you want is your retention rate to go up and your churn rate to go down. Point number two, make sure you religiously track this number. So we tell our franchisees to make sure they're tracking their retention rate and their churn rate. And we give them a guide. As a network, most of our franchisees hit an 80% retention rate, and it's important that they're tracking this number religiously every single term. So for example, if you've got 10 kids in a class and your retention rate is 80%, that means next term, 8 out of 10 of the kids are going to come back to the program and you only need to replace 2 spots. And if that number starts to drop below 80%, that's a sign that something has changed in the business. Maybe the parents aren't happy with the coaches. Maybe the structure of the class isn't there. So always make sure you're tracking recurring revenue or retention rate. And remember, every time you lose a customer, you have to replace that customer. And guess what? It isn't free to replace a customer. It costs money. And there's a number that you need to know called CAC, cost to acquire a customer. Let's go to the whiteboard. Hey, just quickly, if you want to see if there's an available territory to own a Little Bloomers Basketball franchise in, click the link below to our map and see if there's a location near you. Okay, so what is CAC? CAC stands for cost to acquire a new customer, and it pretty much stands for what it says. It's how much money do you need to pay to acquire a new customer? Now, if it's an existing customer and they book again and they book again, or they pay for your subscription or whatever it is, that's awesome. You don't have to pay that cost because you only have to pay it once and then they're part of your subscription. But if they're a completely new customer, that costs you money as a business. So let's do an example of how we can calculate the CAC. Let's say, for example, I spent $1,000 on Facebook ads, right? And the goal of mine, I'm running a new franchise. I want to get parents to sign up to the program and I spend $1,000 on Facebook ads. And let's say that $1,000 gives me 10 signups. Okay. So I've just run a Facebook ads campaign. I've spent $1,000. It's given me 10 signups, 10 new people signed up, right? I get $1,000 and I divide it by 10 and that gives me a CAC of $100 per new customer. All that is saying is it costs me $100 to acquire a new customer. Now, as you can imagine, if you're spending $100 to acquire a new customer, you're going to want to take care of that customer, because every time that customer leaves or stops doing business with you, you need to purchase another customer, and that costs money. Unless you're getting free referrals every single time, you need to pay for these new customers, right? Let's say I need to find 10 new parents to fill up my class. I go 10 times 100 equals, it's going to cost me $1,000 to acquire 10 new customers. That is why it is so important you are taking care of your existing clientele, whether it's a Little Boomers basketball franchise or any franchise for that matter. Existing customers are free. They come back, they come back, they come back. And guess what? They also promote your brand as well. But as soon as they leave, you're going to have to acquire a new customer at a fee. One of the most important metrics in a business is CAC, guys. If you want to calculate it, get all of your marketing spend, whatever you spend, Facebook, Instagram, Google, get all of your marketing spend, divide that by how many customers it brings in, and there you have your cost to acquire a new customer. Let's continue in with the video. Point number 3, here are 3 things that you can do to increase your retention and decrease your churn. Number 1, deliver an exceptional product or service. And I've got a saying, do the things that your competitors don't do. If you offer a tremendous amount of value to your customers, they will keep coming back and they will keep buying. And for us, we're in the coaching space for kids. It's important that we've got quality coaches delivering classes, structured sessions, and a franchisee that's overseeing the entire operation. Number 2, survey what your best customers do. If you've got top spenders in your business, customers that have been with you for years and years and years, put out a survey and find out, hey, why have you been doing business with us for so long? What do you value most? What do you like? What do you don't like? Is there any reason why you've stuck with us for the last couple of years? Find out what those answers are and build those into your system so that you can get more loyal, high-spending customers. And you might be a little shocked when you find out what they value the most, you thought they didn't care about. And number 3, watch out for early warning signs. What you want to do is before a customer chooses to leave your business, put out a survey midway. And I know for us in our industry, halfway through the term, which is about week 4, we put out what's called an NPS survey, a Net Promoter Score, and we find out, hey, how's little Johnny going in the program this term? We're halfway. How's he doing? Is he liking it? Do you have any feedback for us to give to the franchisee or coaches? And we put it halfway through because we want to catch anything that might be going wrong before the end of the term. Because when it comes time to the end of the term, if they're not happy, that's it. They've made the decision. They're moving on. We want to be able to catch the early warning signs and make some of those changes. So put out a survey before your customer decides to move on. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you want to watch another video where I show how a franchise owner can make double the amount of revenue without doing anything, click the button below, have a watch of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.